Any signs of slowing down, even with all of these sparks. It is just incredible to see not only that, but just how this person won't stop for anything, it seems. Two spin outs we saw. Another close call with a car that was heading right towards it. This driver heading not only on surface streets, but on the sidewalk and also into the opposite side of the road.
And look at that. The sparks are getting more and more intense. And that right rear tire of this SUV that was initially reported stolen. The driver leading sheriff's deputies on a chase now for roughly a half hour, speeding through intersections, colliding with cars coming through the intersections, unsuspecting drivers nearly crashing head on while going in the opposite direction. We're being told now this person is driving now on Marengo Avenue through South Pass and continuing on despite the clearly disabled SUV. And it appears
this is like a fireworks show.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now. But it appears that there is no intention at all of giving up or stopping, which is the dangerous mentality that deputies are dealing with right now. This person just may not even care what happens to them and may make other people who are driving or pedestrians collateral damage. We don't want to see that.
And you know, Elsa, we've covered several chases, obviously. This may be one of the more dangerous ones we've seen recently, because oftentimes we see drivers, when they get off on surface streets, they slow down, they sort of circle around the same areas, probably places they're familiar with. But in this case, this driver has not been even with the car, even with two spinouts, even with many close calls, as you can see, going through intersections with red lights. So the mentality of this driver is what's so concerning, because obviously this person is desperate just to do anything to keep going, even if this car or this vehicle is coming apart.
He's westbound right now on Huntington Drive going through South Pasadena. And again, continuing to drive on this severely disabled SUV and just barreling down the streets, barreling through the intersections. Fortunately there, he had a green light at that intersection, but most of them that he's gone through have been red lights, and we've watched a couple of crashes happen and near head-on collisions happen while this person was going in the wrong direction.
I believe he's on Huntington Drive now in Alhambra.
Yes, continuing on Huntington Drive, and fortunately it looks like this is wide open, at least where he is right now. I'm hoping it continues to be that way, at least without any pedestrians in the area or other drivers who don't see him coming. Now he just took a turn, and you see sheriff's deputies following close behind, but still keeping enough of a distance to try to...
Now I believe this is Monterey Road here in Alhambra. Wow, look at those sparks.
But they need that perfect opportunity, law enforcement, to do the pit maneuver, and this just isn't it right now. They're getting into tight quarters again, and there's traffic coming around. It looks like we have some blind curves here.
Oh, yeah, this is the Rose Hills area, I believe, and several homes and businesses. Are we coming to a stop, it looks like? Is he slowing down? It'll be interesting to see what this driver does next, if they stay in the car or if they get out, because...
Okay, this is an extremely dangerous time now for law enforcement approaching this vehicle. If this driver is willing to do what we just watched him do for the past 30 minutes, nearly crash head-on with innocent people, blow through intersections, not caring what may or may not happen to people, driving on the sidewalk with potential pedestrians, plans on doing.
I just saw the vehicle move a little bit more, inch forward.
Creep a little bit.
You can see that the sheriff's deputies are out. They have their guns drawn. They are definitely giving orders to this driver to get out with his hands up. But at this point, we have not seen any sign of that. Lights, it looks like, on this SUV, and then he almost looked like he was starting to go again.
Maybe taunt, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's just no way to tell for us here if the car has now just stopped going because of all of the damage, or if this person is playing a game with law enforcement out there involved in this pursuit.
This is a very dangerous moment because we don't know if this person has a weapon. We don't know if there are other people inside this SUV that perhaps may be unwilling participants in this. This is sort of a tough moment now, because now we have to figure out, what is this driver going to do? Do they peacefully, or are they still determined, as we've seen all night long, to just keep going and try to get away as much as possible? So we have to sort of figure out what the next step is for this driver. But to the right, this was the first crash that we saw on Garfield earlier this evening. This driver still not giving up, and then kept going. And then there was a second spin out, which we're going to show you right now as well. Oof. It's miraculous that there were no cars hit or no innocent people who were out, who were injured in all this. And, you know, this driver still didn't give up, but now stopped up here in the Rose Hill section. But you could see several police vehicles and LA County Sheriff's deputies' vehicles surrounding this car. We see law enforcement out with their guns drawn, trying to get this driver to come out with their hands up.
And right now, it seems we are just at a standstill. The driver refusing to come out, law enforcement taking position, making sure they're protected, and waiting for this person to make the next move. But it appears, at least where they are in Rose Hill right now, Peter, this is a residential area. People, it looks like they could look right out of their windows if they live in this area and see what's happening. That's got to be incredibly scary to see this unfolding right in front of their homes. Again, another element that police and deputies have to take into consideration. They're in a residential area, and there are other people who are injured
I
because
think the door is opening. If we can go to the live.
Let's go to the live picture.
Can we focus more on the live picture?
It
It looks like I saw the door open. Am I wrong? I think I saw the door open or something happen.
There we go.
There we
You're
go.
right.
The driver, it looks like he's coming out. He is complying, hopefully, with the officer's orders. And it looks like, or is he shouting at them? I can't make it out.
Okay, we're being told that it is a female driver, Peter. It looks like she stepped out for a little bit. Maybe words were exchanged, and she didn't like what was said and went back into the SUV. And here we are again. So we don't know how long this is going to go back and forth between law enforcement brush on sheriffs to make any rash decisions, because they are in a considerable amount of danger as well. They don't know what they're dealing with this person other than what they've seen, which is completely erratic behavior, dangerous driving, and putting other people's lives at risk.
And I think she's opened the door again now. Now she's getting out again. She's waving her hand. And see, this is dangerous because we don't know what's in her hands. She just needs to get out, step back. See, not good, because she's not complying with their orders. They want her to come out with her hands up. They want her to walk backwards slowly, and she is opening that door, facing these officers, closing the door. It looked like she was waving something in her hand, and this is where it gets really nerve-wracking, because you just want her to just listen to what they have to say and to just put her hands up and
again, they have to worry about whether or not there are other people in the vehicle who may not be willing participants, innocent people inside of that car, or SUV rather. So there's so many things to take into consideration for them in this situation. But right now, the behavior seems to match which is very erratic. She's coming in, she's coming out, words are exchanged, she's going back into the SUV, slamming the door shut. Not sure what's being said, but we are witnessing this very odd behavior. Don't know if she's attempting to negotiate, but there really isn't any room for negotiation for her at this point.
You know, and we have to wonder about her mental health. You know, sometimes we see people who either mentally ill or they're under the influence of drug or alcohol. We don't know, but clearly there's something wrong here, because she first of all, well, let's just look at the driving alone. I mean, she was erratic on the streets, but now she's opening and closing the door. She's stepping out. She's talking to the officers, shouting at them. The door again. So you really have to wonder what's going to unfold here, and hopefully this all comes to a peaceful end, but at this point we don't know for sure based on her behavior. Okay, so we're getting word that all traffic in South Pasadena on Monterey Road is being stopped. It's being blocked off. Is that in both directions there? I'm assuming in both directions on Monterey Road there, while police continue to deal with this situation. Not safe for anyone to approach this area right now, and I'm guessing the people in the homes surrounding this area hopefully see what's going on and don't decide to come outside. Yeah, obviously, like you said, Elsa, this is not something that they want to get close to, it's, especially since this driver has not been apprehended at this point. We don't know if there's a weapon inside this SUV and also if there are other people inside. Interesting, though, that she keeps open. We're not quite sure why she's, again, doing it again and what she's trying to tell the officers, but she is not giving up. I mean, it just seems like she is doing everything she can to try to stall, which is obviously ridiculous at this point because, you know, the car stopped and they have her surrounded. So what is she trying to accomplish? We don't quite know.
Maybe just to buy some time here. Okay,
here
it
we
looks
go.
like she's approaching.
Okay.
Although it doesn't seem like she's complying.
They're moving in.
But
they're moving in.
They're
Here we
moving
go.
in on her
They're taking
here.
her down. All right. She is being taken down by force. Wasn't listening to the officer's orders, so they had to move in when they could and safely put her down on the ground, and now they are going to arrest her and put her in handcuffs. And
you could see other deputies who are on the scene who are now searching the SUV just to make sure there's nobody inside, no innocent victims inside or any other suspects. But right now, Peter, I didn't see anyone else, or I don't see anyone else being pulled out of her being taken down.
So this woman now in custody, it seems. She appears to be the only person who was inside this SUV. And on the right side of your screen, you could see just how wild this chase was. This SUV was like a comet with sparks just flying from the back, 2 spin-outs. Just incredible to think that there were no serious injuries in all this. But again, just a wild scene that unfolded here on the surface streets, not only in the city of Commerce, but in Alhambra and also now in Rose Hill. So thanks for watching us along with us. It just seems like things have ended peacefully right here on KCAL 9 News. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back.